Hi, I'm really happy to be here. Thank you. And I just wanted to ask, I've heard on tapes you speak that when we sleep, we go into pure positive energy and align effortlessly.
Yes, and the reason we know that is because your consciousness never ceases to be. So if you are not awake and focused here, you are awake and focused somewhere else. So it is a withdrawal of consciousness here and applying of consciousness into the non-physical. And the reason we like to make that distinction as often as we can is because we want you to realize that when you die, it's exactly the same thing. When you die, you withdraw consciousness and reemerge consciousness into the non-physical broader perspective.
My question was, I didn't understand about nightmares or night terrors or things like that.
What you're dreaming is not what that inner part of you is doing. In other words, there are two things that you have to understand about the dream sequence or the dream process, or in this case, the nightmare process. You don't dream all night. What happens is, as you are reemerging from focusing in non-physical to focusing back into the physical, oh, you're really going to like this. We're right on the brink of something so important, and we're trying to decide what's the best way of unfolding it for you. We're going to start in what feels like another place, but it's going to lead right into this important knowing. Everything that you feel in any moment is the vibrational variance between who you really are as source energy and who you are being in this moment. So you've heard us say, relative to the subject of resistance, that when you have source energy really pouring through you, but you have beliefs that don't allow yourself to align to that source energy, it's like going 100 miles an hour in your car and hitting a tree. It's a big thing. So when you go to sleep at night, and you are tuned in, tapped in, turned on. You've had a day of appreciation. Maybe you meditated. You've been basking. You've brought yourself into vibrational alignment. So you might dip into some frustration, but mostly you're feeling wonderful. When you go to sleep under those conditions, the variance between what you've been practicing recently, like all day and all week, is so much in alignment with who you really are that there's a very smooth passing as you reemerge into non-physical and then reemerge back into physical. In other words, the gate's wide open. You wake up with a smile on your face. But if you wake up in a panic, or if you wake up in the middle of a nightmare, what that means is the vibration that you've been practicing here is quite different from who you really are, and you just sort of hit a tree. In other words, it's like, does that make sense? As you're coming back into this consciousness, the vibrational difference is dramatic. Now, here's the other part that we started to tell you that is so important to understand about dreaming. You're not dreaming all night long. We promise you that when you slumber, that's not your inner being having those dreams. Your inner being, it has reemerged into non-physical. The dream that you think you dreamed all night long was downloaded, sort of like what we're downloading to Esther right now, in a split second. And as you come back into consciousness, you get the full, unstuffed version of it. You see.
Is that good dreams and bad dreams?
All dreams. All dreams are your conscious interpretation of the vibrational countenance that you have most frequently, most dominantly been practicing lately. That's why, that was really good. Did you hear it? That's why, that was really new. Do you know it? That's why, let us see if we can find the best way of helping you to understand this. What you are thinking and feeling and manifesting always matches. And what you are dreaming and feeling is also a manifestation. In other words, it's just a dream manifestation. It's just a depiction of your vibrational countenance. So a nightmare just means I've been practicing some vibrations that are out of alignment with who I really am, and I've practiced them enough that it's still pre-manifestation, but by the time something starts showing up in your dream, there's enough vibration of it evident that it's not far from manifestation, not far from manifestation that others would see other than only you in your dream state, you see.
So it's a good tool.
It's a wonderful tool. We like you to think of, here I am, and I'm the attractor of my experience, and what I do in massaging the way I feel is everything. So if I'm letting myself be frustrated and upset a lot, then that's my nucleus, and things that match that are going to happen. Esther's had a rampage of computer problems. And she keeps wanting to be the one exception in all of the universe. She wants us to say to her, Esther, your vibration's perfect. This is just an odd, random, sort of quirky thing. But instead what we say to her is, that last computer problem got so much of your attention that you predestined the next one. And then the next one got so much of your attention that you launched another. And so now you have a sort of uncomfortable stream of not fatal, not deadly. It's not keeping you from doing your work. It's just keeping you from doing your work comfortably. It sort of matches the overwhelmment that you feel when you focus upon the problem itself, you see. And so what we're trying to get Esther to understand is that she must soften. She's got to downplay those computer problems. She's got to speak about them less. She's got to acknowledge how easily she is able to figure another way around it. She's got to feel good about technology rather than frustrated with technology. She's been putting off moving from operating system 9 to operating system 10 in her Macintosh, for those of you who know the terminology, because the sound card did not move over, and there are some extensions and some peripheral things that she uses that she needs as she interfaces with other people who also have not yet made the move. So she has been putting it off and putting it off and putting it off, and now the 9.0 operating system empire is crumbling right beneath her feet. In other words, you can't stand still. She's got to move on. And now she's made the decision that she's moving on. Now she has all of these adjustments that she has to make. But what she has to do is remind herself that there's light out there and that it will get better. She has to stop trying to hold to something that isn't working and relax into something that will work, you see. You get locked into beliefs that have worked for you in the past, and then you are irritated that they don't continue to work for you. Like, there is some truth that I should always be able to believe, and I've always believed in the 9.2 operating system of Macintosh. I've always believed in it, and I will continue to believe in it. And we say, or not. In other words, why not trust that something even better is coming? And why not relax and go with the flow of the evolution of your own desires? In other words, all of these people that have been using all of these computers, that have been launching all of these rockets of desire, are the stuff that feeds the motion forward. And so you can't stand still. You've got to move forward on all things, you see. And we think that what happens with so many of you, and what is at the heart of so much of your negative emotion and the heart of so many of your nightmares, is that you're trying to hold yourself to something that someone taught you was appropriate when you've got a whole new paradigm that you're living in. You cannot dig up relics that have been written thousands of years ago to people that you don't even know and couldn't possibly relate to and guide your life by those relics. Why not tap into the same stream of knowledge that whoever wrote those tapped into? The modern day version, you see. Right now it's operating system 10. But it won't always be, you see.
Thank you.